I was just curious from the group, where do you see opportunities to connect family partnerships from in school to after school, or vice versa? Where do you see opportunities to connect family partnerships from after school to in school? And let me put that in the chat. Asking a parent to come help with a cultural activity in the classroom. Yeah, that is a great example. When parents pick up kids, show your face. Multicultural night, sporting events, yep. Bringing families together for activities, parents teaching skills, like making fire bread or beading, just chatting with them when they drop kids off, parent nights activities. A lot of great examples coming in, a lot of participating in after school activities and meeting parents and students. So a lot of really great opportunities that you all have mentioned in connecting family partnerships, whether it's from in school to after school, or connecting to families in an after school setting. This section too, and I know many of you kind of have this down pat already about how to kind of bridge that connection for family partnerships from in school to out of school or out of school to in school. But just a couple ideas, tips, and tricks where we can strengthen that or find opportunities to engage more in those family partnerships. So what are some things that school districts to do? I know it's a school district, but see it as, you know, teachers, staff, non-school staff, ways to connect with out of school. So expand access and opportunities to participate in out of school time programming. So a lot of the times, families might not be aware of programs that exist for their kids after school. And we know that having additional supports, such as an after-school program, reduces familial stress and really helps students thrive. So one way that we can do this is talk with your families. Find out from families, and I think someone mentioned this too, find out from families who aren't engaged in after school, see what their needs are. And try to match them with opportunities that are happening either on the school campus or something that you might be aware of that's happening off campus. A lot of the times students don't get involved because they don't know it exists, and having that partnership with the family or that student to be like, hey, I think that this XYZ club would be a really good fit for you. You know, have you heard about it? Do you want more information about it? And a lot of the times there are fees associated with after school, but there's also, you know, funding opportunities, sliding scale for fees and things like that, that families just might not be aware of. So just being able to share those opportunities and kind of connect those families and kids with after school programming. Another way could be to utilize out of school time activities as opportunities to strengthen relationships. And many of you touched upon this already, inviting family members into the classroom to teach beading or sewing, or attending the students' sporting events, concerts, plays, whatnot. So, and someone said it, showing your face, just being there and talking with families in a less formal setting can go, you know, lengths to building and maintaining that family partnership. Encourage your coworkers out of your other school staff to interact with parents in a setting too. Maybe it's uncomfortable, maybe it's not something they've ever done before, attending a sporting event, or maybe your staff had bad experiences with sporting events and it's just something they don't like going to. So just kind of help support your coworkers too in supporting your students. You mentioned family nights. Family nights are a great way to build that connection as well, and continue to build those protective factors. You know, seeing their teacher at a event that's not in the classroom. Someone mentioned it before, you know, their students' faces just light up, right? Just seeing you there. And encouraging staff to engage in community cultural events outside of school. So what are some things out of school providers can do? I know I right here is encouraged to follow what's recommended for school staff, but I realize it's very vague. So just a couple examples. So if you're an out-of-school time provider and you're on here, just like a school provider, start your program by setting goals with connecting to your families. How many times you want to connect with your families in a month, in a quarter, and making sure that you work towards those goals, whether it's calling a family at least once every other week. Or if there's a student that has more of a challenging home, maybe increasing that contact a little bit more. Getting to know and understanding your families, and Claudia and Lisa, you mentioned this too with showing that picture earlier. What we might initially assume is chaos or a lot of distractions. Really, if you look at it with a different lens, there are a lot of strengths that families can provide for their kids, and just taking the time to look at it with a strengths-based lens. Having parents come in and be the knowledge expert, feeding, sewing, singing, dancing, things like that. And then just finding ways to link families with schools. So sometimes not a lot, but sometimes parents have their own trauma with schools, regardless of what that might have been. So they might not feel comfortable in a school setting. And then, as an after-school provider, kind of help bridge that gap and help the parent to kind of walk and strengthen that relationship.